Hi, I'm Dave Perdue, the Trademark Wahoo. I'd like to talk with you a little bit about the value of trademarks, and I'm holding a bicycle wheel with the trademark Rolf on it. I met Rolf in 1991, and I've mentioned him in another video blog, but I'd like to dig a little deeper into Rolf's story. Rolf came to my office very excited about a new bicycle wheel, specifically new because of the way that the spokes are connected between the rim and the hub. We were able to get more than one patent for Rolf, and Rolf made a nice deal with Trek Bicycle Company. And Trek set about to make a commercial version of the wheel. Just before Rolf inked his deal with Trek, he came to my office and he said, "I'd like to trademark my name." I said, "Well, which one?" And his last name is Dietrich. And Rolf said, "I want to trademark Rolf." I said, "Well, that's pretty straightforward. You put the trademark on your product and you sell the product, and then you can apply to register Rolf as your trademark." This actually goes all the way back to a time before the concept of a trademark application based on intent to use was introduced in the U.S. That's why he had to put the trademark on the wheel and sell the wheel. The trademark had to be in use before he could make his application. The trademark application was examined and approved. Rolf's deal with Trek required Trek to put the trademark Rolf on the wheels. Trek spent a lot of money with its marketing firm to come up with a brand identity to put behind the Rolf trademark. They spent a lot of money and their campaign was successful. Rolf evolved into a valuable trademark. Valuable in the sense that when it was put on a bicycle wheel, that wheel could be sold for more money than most people would ever think about spending on a bicycle wheel. The agreement with Trek lasted 5 years and came up for renewal. Rolf and Trek had different ideas about the terms of a renewal deal. Trek told Rolf, "Well, you've made more money than you could have imagined in the royalties that we've paid to you. So your royalty rate should come down a little bit." Rolf thought about that and he said, "Well, wait a minute. The more wheels you sell, the higher your profit margin is. So you're selling a lot of wheels, and I'm thinking maybe my royalty rate should go up." The differences between Rolf and Trek became insurmountable, and the agreement was not renewed. It was only during the renewal negotiations that Trek came to understand that the brand name behind the brand that Trek had built up over 5 years didn't belong to Trek. It belonged to Rolf. Trek had a license to use the trademark Rolf on the wheels, but at the end of the day, Rolf owned the trademark. So if they couldn't make a deal, Rolf was going to walk out of Trek owning the trademark Rolf. And that's exactly what he did. And then he started making bicycle wheels and selling them from a shop in Eugene, Oregon. I received an email from Rolf recently. I was very intrigued with his recollection of his experience with patents and trademarks. Rolf told me in his email that he said, "I'll never forget when so many years ago, was it before I left Trek? You mentioned that the trademark was the more valuable asset as opposed to the patents. And I thought this was totally off the mark. Crazy. In hindsight, I now realize I was stuck in the inventor's technical mode, as he calls it. How could anyone, he thought, not value the innovations resulting in the award of patents for my invention? Rolf remembers that it was my father who asked during the renewal negotiations with Trek, does Trek realize that it doesn't own the trademark? Trek did not realize that until the negotiations were underway. And we were sitting at a table with Rolf, Joe Welch, a renowned trademark attorney in Chicago with the firm of Padishall McAuliffe. And the president of Trek was there, and general counsel for Trek was there. And I will not soon forget the look on the Trek president's face when he realized that if Rolf walked out, the Rolf trademark walked out. As I've mentioned before, Rolf is the reason that I have evolved, I think I've evolved, from being a patent attorney that does trademark work to a trademark attorney that does patent work. In the long run, if you've made a good product and sold it under a trademark, that trademark is only going to grow in value. And the trademark right will continue so long as you're selling the product. The Rolf wheel patents expired almost 10 years ago. And anybody can make the bicycle wheel that Rolf invented. But no one, except with Rolf's permission, can sell a bicycle wheel with the Rolf trademark on it. That's the story of Rolf. And remember, you'll do better in Toledo.